Hi, I'm Clarice Nixon.
And I'm Paul Nixon. We are college educators, and this is College Hacks. Today we're talking about emailing your professor.
Remember that your professor has a context in which they're reading, just like you have a context in which you're writing. What that means is, think about how your message is going to be received in addition to how you're actually saying your message in the email.
So really you need to put yourself in the position of the professor or the recipient, even though you're the writer. Think about them. Think about the email from their perspective.
That can include time of day that you're writing an email. That can include the language that you're using. That can include whether or not to use emojis. That can include whether or not to include a subject line, which you absolutely should. That could include whether or not to include a salutation, which you absolutely should.
All right, so in this episode, we're going to give you 4 really quick tips for emailing your professor successfully.
The first tip is be polite.
Please.
Repeat it after me. Be polite. So I just mentioned a salutation a second ago. A salutation is a fancy word for just saying hey. So don't start an email and then immediately go into a question that you have or something like that. You have to say hello. Just like if you were gonna stop by your professor's office, you wouldn't step into the office and then just start talking about whatever your issue is. Sometimes that does happen, but the point is it's not polite.
It's rude, yeah.
Like, say hello. That doesn't mean you have to talk for 20 minutes about your day, but say hi, say good morning, say good evening, something like that. Be polite in your email, and that starts with a salutation.
So say hello, say thank you,
right,
and say goodbye.
Right.
So imagine your email was a conversation, and it would be rude.
Because it is.
It is a conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do this, but we know that it's rude, right? It would be rude to walk up to a person, just start talking,
right,
and then walk away.
Right.
Right? Instead, you walk up to a person and say, hey, how you doing? Or whatever, right?
Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Then you talk about what you want to talk about, and then you say, have a nice day.
Or okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Or something.
See you later.
Just walk off in the middle of a conversation. Because that's without that ending, that thank you at the end, it seems like the conversation's not over. So end the conversation with a thank you, with a goodbye, with a see you in class tomorrow, whatever it is, so that it caps off the conversation and ends it completely.
A really good and easy way to make sure you're ending the conversation appropriately is just to set up a signature on your email. Set up a signature that says sincerely or thanks a lot or whatever, and then your name. And
actually, let's give a couple of good. Sincerely, thanks a lot. Have a good day. Best wishes. If you're Christian, God bless works.
All the best.
All the best. What else have I seen? Best. Sometimes just say best.
Yeah. Set up your signature with that ending line, best or best wishes or whatever it is, right? A comma, a space, your name.
Right.
And then a space under that, and maybe your classification, or maybe your major, or something like that, so that every email you send will have your standard ending on it, right? It'll say, best, Jimmy Williams, class of 2020, Department of English.
So this is also actually part of being polite, because we started the video by saying, remember your audience has a context.
Right.
So as a professor, I have dozens of students. I have a lot of students, and I appreciate all of my students, but that doesn't necessarily mean just because I see your name on an email, I remember who you are, what you look like, what class you're in, what section of my class you're in.
Right.
So as part of your ending, not only will your ID number and name be helpful, but even more helpful would be, give me the course number and the section, or even the time that you meet, so I can place you in my head immediately. It takes me an extra step. If you don't give me that information, I have to take an extra step, log into the campus website, look you up, find that's too many steps. That's too many things for me to do just to figure out who you are. So do that work ahead. This is you being polite.
Right.
Do that work ahead, because you know who you are.
Right.
You know what class you're in, hopefully, of mine that you're asking me about. Put that information at the end of your email so that it helps me place you immediately, so I know who you are.
This point actually bleeds into our second tip, which is to be specific, right? So your email needs to be specific, and that includes being specific about who you are.
Right.
Again, you know who you are off the top of your head.
Right.
You know what class it is. You only have 5 classes. Think about it this way. You have 5 classes, which means you have 5 professors. I have 5 classes, but each of those classes has 25, 30 kids in it.
Right.
Students, excuse me. I have 150 students.
Right. No, that math is not right, but it doesn't matter. You get the point.
5 times 30 is 150.
5 times 30?
Yes,
oh,
it is.
it is 150.
We're English
I
professors.
majored in English for very specific reasons. One is that numbers are like another language to me.
Right. So anyway, you know off the top of your head what class you're in, what section, what number, what time it is, what the professor's name is, right? But again, the professor doesn't necessarily know all 100, even if it's 50.
Right.
Right? If you have 5 classes and there's 10 students in each one.
Right.
That's way
That's
more
a
than
lot
your
of students.
5.
Exactly.
So I mean, just be considerate and say, this is who I am, this is where I'm coming from. Also really important, write a subject for your email.
Yes.
You should always write a subject for your email. What is this email? Your professor is going to receive a lot of emails. A lot of those things are important. Some of it's junk mail, but a lot of those things are important. So a subject line really helps us to differentiate one kind of email to another.
Right.
So for somebody like me, for example, I am in education for the students. I'm here to teach because I want this to help students. So I am going to prioritize a student email over a departmental email.
Right.
I'll read them both,
Right.
but I'm gonna read the student email first.
Right.
Or say a question about the assignment. Something very simple.
Or even say the assignment name, question about textual analysis,
Yeah.
question about SEI paragraph, whatever it is, make it specific. A subject line is like a title of an essay or paper. What a title does is it basically tells the reader what it is you're about to talk about. So think about your subject line in that same way. Tell me very succinctly in a few words what the rest of your email is going to go into detail about.